Hi guys, welcome to another plan with me. This month's theme is Under the Sea and it's gonna be fun. I can't wait to show you. This video is a collaboration between Arteza and me. They were so kind to send me some of their products to try for this video. For the spreads I decided to change things up and use a mix of different art media. Watercolor from tubes, watercolor pens and gouache paint. I definitely have enough colors to bring the coral reefs to my journal. Whenever I receive new paint, I make a color chart. This way I know the exact color of the paint and what to expect. For this video I'll mainly use different types of blue for water and orange and yellow for coral. But this vibrant neon pink is definitely my favorite one of the gouache colors. For the cover page we create a huge blob in the middle of the page. Use a lot of water and blend different kinds of blue on your paper. Because of the amount of water, the colors will blend on the paper. This way you'll create a water effect. If you don't want too much wrinkles, use 2 binder clips to hold the pages together and prevent the worst wrinkles. From my experience, the watercolors from the tubes are easy to use when you want really vibrant colors. And coral reefs definitely have a lot of color. So we are using blue and green to make some water plants and some fish. I start off with a little bit more paint on my brush and add it to the paper. After that I'm dipping my brush in the water and spread the paint in the shape of the plant. This way you can create a nice gradient from dark to light. If you want your plant to be darker, add some more dark paint on top. With watercolors you can always go darker and never go lighter. For the coral I'm adding nude, red, orange and yellow of Arteza gouache to my mixing palette. For this illustration I used gouache because I like how opaque the paint is. You can easily paint on top of the watercolor. I thought the illustration lacked some depth, so with some watercolor in a light shade of blue, I added some seaweed to the background. Now it's time for the finishing details. Use lighter colors such as white to brighten the page up. Touch up the sea star by adding some tiny dots. Add some darker shades for shadow to your coral. Now your illustration will look more realistic. At last, add some optional sparkles to your underwater world. For the monthly overview, we are using a lot of water again. I did not entirely think this through and kind of forgot that the other page also had a lot of water. You can see that my pages will begin to wrinkle during the process. At one point I even thought I would experience some bleeding, as you may have noticed in the left corner at the bottom. But by not touching it and letting it dry to the air, there was little damage to the paper. For the next page I wanted to include some sea animals. I remember when snorkeling in Curaçao how mesmerized I was to see sea turtles, but I always find them really hard to draw. So to make it easier for me, I drew 2 shadows and just 1 turtle. I gave it a green base with watercolor and later on I added gouache for the details. I am using the same colors and techniques as I did for the cover to color in the coral and the fish. Time to finish the turtle. I use a brown gouache to draw the turtle's shell. I spared out thin lines to give his shell definition. And I added some dots to give him more detail. The third spread is as always my tracker page. I decided to draw a big jellyfish surrounded by bubbles. The bubbles were painted with the watercolor half pans by Arteza. You can easily draw a jellyfish by making a mushroom shape on top with some elegant ruffles on the bottom. I practiced it a few times before I drew it in my journal. For the base of the jellyfish I blended some yellow and red and the right amount of water to create an orange look. I am back at my favorite linear setup. It is really easy to make. Jot down all the dates of the month and some lines and voila, your template is ready. Now the watercolor has probably dried, so we can add details with gouache. Add some orange to the ruffles to the jelly. This can be done quite messy. I made a few mistakes on the top of the jelly. I went in with orange a bit too enthusiastic, but luckily with some white gouache this was easily fixed. Our fourth and last spread, of course, is the weekly spread. I made the 6 boxes for the days of the week with a fine liner. I combined the weekend in the last box. After this, I pasted masking tape to separate the illustration from the boxes. Gently paint the blue around the circles and create a wavy line on top to make it look like water. Again, dig in with the gouache for all the details, like we did on the previous pages. Don't be afraid to add different colors and shapes. Remove the masking tape gently and write down the numbers. I made a stain in one of the boxes. I fixed it by pasting another piece of paper on top. Looks as good as new. And that's it, my Under the Sea theme is finished. I really like the results and the combination of the different types of paint. If you want more inspiration, you can visit the YouTube channel of Arteza. Link is in the end screen and in the description. You can also find the used products over there. Let me know your thoughts on the video in the comments. If you want to see more, you can give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Or you can check me out on Instagram at Dutch_dots. I hope to see you next time. Bye guys!